Good morning. Myself, I'm Arakshaya. I'm from Computer Science and Information Technology branch. Today, my ID is 219558330. Today, my AAT concept video subject is Web Application Development, and the topic is Explain Bootstrap Installation. Let's look into that. Introduction to Bootstrap. Bootstrap is a free and open source collection of tools for creating websites and web applications. It is the most popular HTML, CSS, and JavaScript framework for developing responsive mobile first websites. It solves many problems which we had once, one of which is the cross browser compatibility issue. Nowadays, the websites are perfect for all the browsers, that is IE, Firefox, and Chrome, and for all the sizes of the screens, desktop, tablets, phablets, and the phones. All thanks to Bootstrap developers Mark Otto and Jacob Thornton of Twitter, though it was later declared to be an open source project. What is a bootstrap? Let's look into that. Bootstrap is the most popular HTML, CSS, and JavaScript framework for developing a responsive and mobile friendly website. It is absolutely free to download and use. It is a front end framework. Use it for easier and the faster web development. It includes HTML and CSS based design templates for typography, forms, buttons, tables, navigation, models, image cursors, and many others. It can also use JavaScript plugins. It facilitates you to create responsive designs. History of Bootstrap. Let us now look into the history and who invented the Bootstrap. Two of the Twitter employees, a designer and a developer, one fine morning decided to create a framework that will power responsive website that is designed RWDs. And thus Bootstrap was born. Initially named as Twitter Blueprint, it was later transformed into the commonly used open source framework. Bootstrap was developed by Mark Otto and Jacob Thornton at Twitter. It was released as an open source product in August 2011 on GitHub. In June 2014, Bootstrap was the number one project on the GitHub. Reasons to choose Bootstrap. It is faster and easier web development. The Bootstrap creates platform independent web pages. It also creates responsive web pages. It's designed to be responsive to model mobile devices too. It's free, available on www.getbootstrap.com. Websites that were built with a lot of CSS and JavaScript can now be built with a few lines of code using Bootstrap. Bootstrap comprises of mainly three components: CSS, fonts, and the JavaScript. Installing Bootstrap. There are two ways in which we can install Bootstrap. Let's talk about both of the ways of installing Bootstrap. But before installing Bootstrap, we must code a basic HTML document on which we would install Bootstrap. Here it is. Here is a small example that a code needs to be dumped into the HTML where Bootstrap is added in between. Here we have a document doc type HTML, and in the language we have English. And head we have a meta set and learning bootstrap at the rate geeksforgeeks.org. And we have a name as description and content as hello world. So here let's close the head part and the body part. And in the content we have hello world. You are learning bootstrap on geeksforgeeks.org. And we have closed the body and the HTML tags. So as we have already discussed, we have two ways to install Bootstrap. Let us discuss about the first method, that is Bootstrap CDN. This method of installing Bootstrap is fairly easy, but it requires internet connection. It is highly recommended that you follow this method. We have several steps in order to install or to process the method one Bootstrap CDN. So the number one step is to go to Get Bootstrap and click Getting Started and scroll down. The figure that is displayed as follows. In the Bootstrap CDN, skip the download with the Bootstrap CDN to deliver cached version of Bootstrap's compiled CSS and the JavaScript to begin your project. If you are using our compiled JavaScript, don't forget to include CDN versions of jQuery and popper.js before it. When installing Bootstrap, we have several other components that need to be installed other than the Bootstrap installation. So those are the components that need and essential in order to create a web page. In the second step, copy the link and paste it in the head section of the HTML code. Let us now look into that way the code need to be pasted. Here in the link section, in the head section, we have to copy the code, the link of the Bootstrap that we have downloaded in other systems. So this specifies the code which need to be added in the earlier HTML code with addition to Bootstrap installations. Step number 3. Copy the script tag and paste those things in the body section at the bottom position like the above code. As when comes to step 4, bingo, you have installed Bootstrap on your HTML document. To see the changes on your document, try opening the page on a separate tab of your browser and you can easily notice the difference between the two codes. Though not much of difference can be felt till now, but it would be apparent in the later parts of the article. Here, the one on the left is without Bootstrap and the one on the right is with the Bootstrap installed. So here to install the method called Bootstrap CDN, as we getting into the getbootstrap.com website, we have 4 steps to follow, and with that we will be getting a Bootstrap application in the HTML code itself. Very easy to installation, but we need an internet connection to make this process accomplished. Now let us look into the second method of the Bootstrap installation, that is compiled CSS and the JavaScript. This method of installing Bootstrap is also easy, but it can work offline. Doesn't require internet connection. This is a special part of the Bootstrap installation. The one with the method one, we need an internet connection, but with for this non-internet connection, we can go for the compiled CSS and the JavaScript. Step 1. Go to Get Bootstrap and click Getting Started. Click on the Download Bootstrap button and download the compiled CSS and JavaScript. Here we'll be displaying as follows the compiled CSS and JavaScript. Download ready to use compiled code for Bootstrap, that is version 4.3.1, to easily drop into your project, which includes compiled and minified CSS bundles, compiled and minified JavaScript plugins. This doesn't include documentation, source files, or any other optional JavaScript dependencies, that is jQuery and popper.js. In the step 2, a zip file would get downloaded, extracted, and go into the distribution folder. You would see 2 folders named CSS and JS. You can make your HTML file there and then you must paste these links in their respective sections. So here we have a code of a HTML language where the CSS and the JavaScript 2 files are to need to be extracted from the downloaded zip file. And now the installation and the CSS and the JavaScript installation on your device is completed with the following code. And now in the HTML3, open the HTML document with the browser and see the difference which Bootstrap makes. This would probably not support higher versions of Internet Explorer, that is 8 plus, and for them we need to download additional files which is cumbersome. So with when coming to the method 2, we need for the higher versions of supporting of Internet Explorer, we have to download additional files. So it is highly recommended to follow method A, which is really very simple. Thank you.